When I was tired or more tired, this tension would be stronger, as if it was helping me, holding me as I engage with others. What do you expect from me? What do you need from me? A commitment to be less of self. Hello, it's been a while since I recorded any videos. Needed time to ponder and process things. I also finished a big project, created a new website. Welcome to check it out. So I needed time to breathe out as well. And what I thought would be a couple of weeks of laying low turned into much longer. In sensorimotor psychotherapy, we talk about wisdom of the body. But the body contains a valuable information about who we are and has its own way of holding and revealing it. And I'll share about my own experience illustrating that later. Well, I think our whole self has its own deep wisdom and intelligence that is so different from our intellectual abilities. So that's why I think I thought it would be 2 weeks. It was much longer. Needed that time. By the way, if you are interested in learning more about my life, work, you're welcome to subscribe to my Instagram account, where I share glimpses of my journey, reflections, and insights as well. So, what has been showing up for me recently is the theme of expectations. Expectations that I have for life and from life, expectations that others have for me and from me, expectations that others had for me when I was growing up, that I've internalized and how they have become a habitual way of being for me. Expectations that I have for myself. Well, actually, I don't know if they even my expectations of myself after all. Well, basically a whole gamut of expectations. I've never read Charles Dickens' Great Expectations, but I imagine that it explores some disappointing aspects of having expectations. I'm actually curious, has any of you read the novel, and what touched you? And actually, what expectations do you have for yourself and from yourself, life, the world, others? I'm always curious about your experiences. Today, I'd like to share my journey of uncovering an old pattern of expectations. So, I observed that as I was about to engage with my clients, friends, the world, a physical sense of gearing up would come up. Gearing up, preparing, equipping myself. And it presented as a tension in my shoulders, upper arms, and back, upper back, like contracting and just slightly lifting me up. I also noticed that when I was tired or more tired, this tension would be stronger, as if it was helping me, holding me as I engage with others. So when I noticed it, and when I took the time and tuned into this tension, the words came from it. What shall I be for you? What do you expect from me? What do you need from me? When I heard that, it was quite obvious to me that this was a response, these questions, um, this was a habitual pattern that I learned in childhood. Certainly, nobody had me recite these questions over and over, but when we're little, we are like sponges, absorb spoken and unspoken expectations of our parents, caregivers, teachers, society as a whole. And because we are all different in our internal makeup, these patterns that we develop also differ. So for me, it manifested in this kind of tension. And all of it is unconscious. That is why these habitual patterns are so hard to spot and transform. And then I started to notice that some of that contracting, not as strong when I was engaging with others, but still was present when I was by myself, which makes sense. What we learn stays with us at all times. So, this learned expectation of the world were with me even when I was alone. But they snuck into what activities I chose to do. Well, my social roles as a daughter, friend, a business owner, therapist, well, a human being, are always with me. I can always be doing something for others. And then I realized that this habitual pattern consistently and quietly contributed to a sense of burnout and fatigue that I felt from time to time. Obviously, there's a positive side to this coin. Paying attention to other people's needs has contributed to my sensitivity towards others, awareness of them. This in turn has made me a good therapist and a tuned person. Nonetheless, not always do we need and want to be watchful of people's needs. Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. It's nice to have a choice, isn't it? I believe that this quieter, laying low time has allowed me to notice, observe, and begin to shift this pattern, to shift things inside. Now, as I consciously bring my attention to this contracting tension, I let it melt away into a chair or a couch, allowing my body to fully rest, yield into them. And then naturally, a breath comes, a deeper breath comes, opening my chest and relaxing my belly. Softness comes, openness comes, and my attention naturally goes deeper inside into my heart, and I listen attentively as I ask, what do I want to do? What is important for me to do right now? In return, one of two things happen: a natural desire to do the thing that I plan to do, or a desire to do something else shows up. So I go with it. One day, actually, interesting experience. One day I got an answer, go to Costco. And I did need to go there, but not that day because I knew it would be really crowded. So my mind started to question and argue. But I said, thank you. No, we're going. Magically, although it was very crowded, I got a great parking spot, got everything that I needed, and was in and out within 30 minutes, which is quite unheard of. The whole time I was tuning in into this internal voice, which guided me through the crowd, including bringing to a checkout that had the shortest line ever. I'm quite realistic that as adults, we have many responsibilities, demands to attend to when we don't want to do them, or when we're tired or overwhelmed and so forth. So if I don't have a choice and I have to do something now, like seeing a client, even though I love my job, but there are times when I'd rather lay on the couch, for example, then I do the same relaxation practice of letting the tension melt into the chair and asking myself the question of what I want to do. And then I have an internal conversation with the part of me, or we can call it the inner child, that wants to do something else. I acknowledge the inner child's desire and promise that we will do what she wants to do later. So it sounds something like this: I hear you. Right now, you would like to go for a walk on a beach. And it is a beautiful day after all. And also, right now, I need to see a client. I need to work. But I promise you that tomorrow we will go for an evening walk on a beach. As a result, things get settled inside because I didn't ignore what I wanted to do. I acknowledged it and I promised that we would do it in the future. And then I bring my attention to yielding in the chair, which leads to a deeper breath and a sense of presence. So I show up in a state of openness and beingness. I am more attuned to the present moment and to what's happening for myself and the other person. So the paradox that this practice makes me a better doer because I'm a present doer now. In essence, it doesn't matter what circumstances are. By melting this expectation contracting and tuning inside, I land into a state of beingness, in a state of not having any agenda. Because having this unconscious, what shall I do for you, is still having an agenda. Although it's implicit, it's still there. Its energy is present and affects what and how I do things and how I interact with others. The word contracting in here is actually interesting to me as well. Contract means to shorten, decrease, cut, narrow. And a contract is an agreement, commitment, pact. So this expectation contracting is an agreement to be smaller than I really am, a commitment to be less of self. As I zero in on what you need from me, I lose the sight of myself. I begin to lose touch with all of the wealth of my gifts and my connection with God, universe, because you become number one. So as I make a commitment to release this expectation contract, it becomes a commitment to myself to be more of myself and to let the divine energy come through me. I'm in the present moment. And actually, from this grounded and open state, I can truly be the best support to you. I can be the best for myself, God, you, the world. I'm realistic that this habitual pattern of expectation is not going to go away like this. After all, it's been with me for many years. However, I have no doubt that as a result of my continuous paying attention to it and working with it, it will start to fade. I mean, after all, this is not my first rodeo of internal change. And actually, already, it's quite lovely to see the changes in my life. I'm much calmer. I more enjoy and take pleasure in doing things. The world stopped feeling like demanding and expecting place. Quite the opposite, it's becoming a place of support more and more. And more often than not, I sense that my main responsibility is to be myself. My hope that as I share my experience with you today, you reflect on your physical tension patterns, as well as emotional and thought patterns that perhaps are ready to be shifted at this time, leading you to happier, greater selves. Take good care of yourselves. Thank you for taking the time to hear about my journey and my process.